Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be going over my new Duo Stage Storm Iori deck. This is the more budget friendly deck for those that aren't going to run the Restanding Vanguard or those that don't even have Mirror, because Mirror for some reason is super expensive. So this is my alternate build for Duos with all the other leftover cards that I had. So I just threw them all in here to make this deck, and surprisingly the deck is pretty fun to play. So let's get started. Start off for Duo Stage Storm Iori. This is your main card you want to run late game, or as soon as you have two copies in your hand. You want this card to be, well, one card. If you have two of these, you ride this first. If you have one, if you have the other grade 3, you would probably ride that first. And the other grade 3, for again, this is a budget build, is Dual Flower Girl Lily. Dual Flower Girl Lily on her own is actually still pretty good. She's not as good as Iori, assuming you have two copies of Iori or you're able to do the Persona Blast. Mainly because she's a Counterblast 2, so her cost is very expensive, which causes us to have to run Kura in here. But she's pretty good to set up. She can even get you multiple copies of Iori. There's a combo with Roan in her, but the thing is I don't run Roan in this deck because it's in my other deck, so I can't really do that combo. But the deck still works pretty good. The grade 2s, 4 of the Duo 12K, 4 Duo White Crystal Ricca. Originally I was running Thames. Thames is your 8K. When it bounces, you get to draw a card. You counterblast one, draw a card, and if you have 3 or more, you can reveal them and unflip that damage, or unflip the unflip the card you just counterblast. But that would have been okay, but the thing is, I don't like to bounce grade 2s or rear guards in the front row back to my hand, unless they have, I don't know, I just don't really like it in here, because there is there's a grade 1 that does the exact same thing, which we will show in a minute here. So 4 of this, because it's essential to unflip, because Lily counterblasts, and so many other things counterblast. An example of that being Prism Duo Slaney or Slaney or whatever. This card is kind of like a Mona from back in the day. So when she's placed on R, if you have a Bermuda Triangle, pay the cost, bounce a Bermuda Triangle back to the hand. So for counterblast 1, you bounce 1. That's pretty decent, I would say, since you do have the possibility of bouncing her back with like Lily or Iori or something. It's pretty good in here, I guess. But again, I kind of ran out of space. So it's either this or run Thames. I'm not about to run Thames because that's an 8K body. So 3 of this, it works. Low cost to bounce this or something. And then moving on to grade 1s. 1 Quintet Wall Colima and 3 Aria. So Aria, well, okay, this deck is probably, in my opinion, this is the one where you kind of want to run. It's more ideal to run 4 Perfect Guards, because Iori is a Persona Blast, so you do not want to use Colima and then drop Iori onto the Guardian Circle. So that's basically the Sentinels, but again, I have to split them up because I'm running so many different decks. And next, we're running 4 Duo Petite Etole Peace. Peace is the card I was talking about earlier. This is the one where some people are like, don't run this, it's terrible because it's only 6K boost. And others are saying, run this in Thames, or don't run them at all. This card I run over Thames, mainly because this is the grade 1. So when you bounce, it's more advantageous to bounce a booster back to the hand so you can be a shield next turn. So basically, she is the Girls Rock Rio for Duo, along with Thames. Thames is the grade 2 that draws a card. So when this is bounced, Counterblast 1, Duo, or you have a Duo as a Vanguard, so Counterblast 1, bounce this card, draw a card, and then if you have 3 of her in the hand, she has that bonus effect. You can reveal them and unflip the damage that you just paid for the Counterblast. So it's a pretty good advantage engine, and this is probably the main card that I want to have 3 copies of in the hand at some point in the game. So Peace is really good. The other grade 1 that puts in a lot of work is Dual Beast Ear Lulu. This one complements Peace real well because it doesn't have a cost. It's just an on-call. And then it's the 9k boost or 11k boost with 2 of them when they're both called on that turn. Or you could even just, like, if you have one already out and then you call another one, then the first one is an 11k, or no, take that back. That's not how it works. So it's just 9k boost. Unless you stack them. Unless you, like, call one, put 2 on her, call another, put 2 on the new one, plus 2 on the other one. So this is at 11, this one's at 9. So yeah, it can stack like that. So this card is important in here because it fixes the problem that the deck runs into, because it is running, like I said earlier, it has 4 8k grade 2s and 4 of this 6k, so that's not really good in that sense. And then to make matters worse, they are running the 2 Kura to unflip 2 because it's still very counterblast heavy. So yeah, the deck does have issues with applying pressure to the opponent because your columns will be kind of messed up. You kind of want Lulu to go behind Ricca, but even then, that's still not that ideal, except on the turn that you call her. For the trigger lineup, 8 criticals, 4 heals, and then the surprise that I put in here is 4 stands. I'm running the stand that has the effect that a Cicola has, so that way I get around not having to run Cicola. But most of the time I would not, well, you almost never want to use this effect. The only time you'd ever use this effect is if you know you have like 3 of these still in the deck and none in the damage zone. You can go ahead, and if you're going to use Iori or Lily that turn, you can bounce this with Iori. You can bounce this and get 2 more to your hand. So that's a nice way of getting like 10k, like so much 10k shield to your hand. So in one turn you can get like 3 of these, and then you can give 4,000 to something and nothing really happened, but you gain 2 cards. So that's pretty good. And they're 10k shields. So why we're not running the draws? They're even though this is a Persona Blast, you kind of want to get this as much as you want to draw into this as much as you can. Mainly because it's not necessary. Like I said, the deck could deck out. There's enough draw power with the Peace engine that I have here, and then this helps the Quintet Wall a lot. I cannot describe enough times where the Quintet Wall, like running either 12 crits or running just stands and crits, makes your Quintet Wall so much better. It's crazy. So simple way to play the deck. You have Iori, you have 1 in your hand. Let's say you have this, and this. And you have this. Well, one simple combo that I can think of is you do her Persona Blast, and well, let's say you have something else like this. So you can basically Soul Blast 1, Persona Blast, bounce Peace. Peace will counter blast 1. Well, no, hold on. So yeah, she bounces this. But then she also makes you search the deck for up to 2 cards with that card name. So that gets you 2 more of this. So now she goes to your hand, right? You have these 3. Now you can use her effect to counterblast 1, draw a card, then reveal these, and then unflip that counterblast. Then you can proceed to do this or whatever. So that's one combo. Another one is like Lulu. Do the same exact thing, only bounce Lulu, get 2 more Lulu from the deck, and then but she doesn't unflip a damage though. But then you call Lulu behind Iori, or no, behind Ricca. She becomes 9, so this is now 17. then you call the second one, you still have one in your hand for shielding, and then now this is what, 19, and then this is 9 and 11, so that's 20 and 19. So it's a nice way to fix this issue that this weak 8K body would have. Or you could do it the other way around if you want. You could even put it here, like if your setup was like that for whatever reason, but that's a really weak, it doesn't really generate much pressure. But yeah, those are some basic combos with Iori. You can do similar things with Lily, like if Lily's the Vanguard. The only difference is Lily, you're attacking with her, so you're, like, you can still get her effect. The only difference is you're not gaining as many cards as you do with Iori, because it's not like a +2, like how well, it's actually +1. Unless you're using her effect, then it's like +2, but that's why I'm running Peace. Bottom line is that's why I'm running Peace, because a lot of people said don't run this. I disagree. You just don't run this and Thames, because then you are probably going to run into issues. But that's basically how I played the deck, and it works pretty well. So yeah, let me know in the comments any combos that you, or suggestions you have for the Iori build, or even just like the Lily build. So if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.